Hi, I'm Riley. I'm interested in the hairspray side of this, and I researched the origin of hairspray.
My name is Leo, and I'm interested in this project for its effect on the environment and the ozone layer, and I was in charge for the environmental impacts.
My name's Yamini. I'm interested in the environmental aspect of hairspray, and I researched what the CFCs are.
What are CFCs? CFCs, or chlorofluorocarbons, are an organic compound that contain carbon, chlorine, and fluorine produced as a volatile derivative of methane and ethane. CFCs are a family of chemical compounds developed back in the 1930s as a safe, non-toxic, and non-flammable alternative to dangerous substances like ammonia for purposes of refrigeration and spray can propellants. Their usage grew enormously over the years. One of the elements that make up CFCs is chlorine. Very little chlorine exists naturally in the atmosphere. But it turns out that CFCs are an excellent way of introducing chlorine into the ozone layer. The ultraviolet radiation at this altitude breaks down CFCs, freeing the chlorine. Under the proper conditions, this chlorine has the potential to destroy large amounts of ozone. This has been observed in places such as Antarctica, and as a consequence, levels of genetically harmful ultraviolet radiation have increased. The main legislation controlling releases of CFC is the Montreal Protocol, which came into force in 1987. This international agreement, which was obliged by most signatories to completely phase out their use of CFCs by 1996. Only developing countries were allowed to exceed this level of up to 15% of their production pre-signing the protocol. Releases in the UK are also controlled through the UK Pollution Prevention and Control Regulations. CFCs enter the body primarily through inhalation of air containing CFCs, but can also enter by ingestion of contaminated water or dermal contact with chlorofluorocarbons. Inhalation of high levels of CFCs can affect the lungs, central nervous system, heart, liver, and kidneys. Symptoms of exposure to CFCs can include drowsiness, slurred speech, disorientation, tingling sensations, and weakness in the limbs. Exposure to extremely high levels of CFCs can result in death. The claim we researched came from an interview with Donald Trump where he is quoted to say, "Give me a little spray. You know you're not allowed to use hairspray anymore because it affects the ozone. You know that, right?" I said, "You mean to tell me because you know hairspray is not like it used to be. It used to be real good. Today you put the hairspray on, it's good for 12 minutes, right? So if I take hairspray and I spray it in my apartment, which is all sealed, you're telling me it affects the ozone layer?" I say no way, folks. No way, no way. That's a lot like the rules and regulations you people have in minds, right? It's the same kind of stuff. Does hairspray really affect the environment, or is it just a made-up scientific claim? We began to take a look at the facts.
Early hairsprays were developed in Europe in the 1920s. In the US, hairsprays were developed around the time of the aerosol can in 1940s. And the first patents describing copolymers for hairstyling were published in the 1940s. In the US, the first to package it was Chase Products, an aerosol manufacturer, in 1948. Prior to 1979, the most popular propellants in hairspray were CFCs. Owing to environmental concerns, they were replaced. Hairspray is an aerosol product containing many harmful chemical compounds. Because of its aerosol application, hairspray is extremely flammable. In 1993, the FDA released a warning statement to prevent hairspray-related fires. Prior to this statement, many fires caused by the use of hairspray had been reported. Some volatile organic compounds are found in most hairsprays, which have a range of health and environmental effects. Another dangerous substance found in hairspray is formaldehyde, something used in higher concentrations to preserve tissue samples, specimens, and cadavers. Because it is used to kill mold and bacteria as well, it is in hairspray to ward off potential contaminants. However, formaldehyde can cause many problems such as dermatitis, headaches, and respiratory illness. It is also a suspected carcinogen.
Effects of hairspray. Well, first of all, CFC, the main component in hairspray, is released to the environment. When it's in the ozone layer, the sunlight or UV radiation breaks apart the chlorine atom and results in a radical chlorine atom on its own. This ion or radical atom attaches to the O3 ozone molecules and therefore creates a chain reaction as shown in steps 3, 4, and 5 in the image. Theoretically, one CFC molecule could disrupt 1,000 ozone molecules. So what are the effects of ozone depletion? Well, one, the increased amount of UV light that reaches the Earth's surface causes an increased chance of non-melanoma skin cancer and malignant melanoma development. In addition, this UV light has also been linked to the development of cataracts or a clouding of the eye's lens. A second effect is the change in homeostasis of plant life. As the nutrients are disrupted throughout the plant and timing of developmental phase and secondary metabolism has been altered, this change in the herbivory step in the food chain could therefore affect everything else in the ecosystem. The third effect is the marine ecosystem. Phytoplankton, the foundation of aquatic food webs, is limited by the euphotic zone or the layer in the ocean where the sunlight can reach it. If UV light radiation has been shown to affect both the orientation and mobility in these phytoplankton, therefore reducing their survival rates. If phytoplankton was to be reduced or in their population, then everything built on top of it, such as fish or any marine animal above it, would therefore be disrupted in the food chain. The final effect would be the rate of material breakdown. Although many synthetic polymers have been made resistant to it, this increased amount of UV light would still indirectly cause an increase in the rate of material breakdown, causing the decomposition of commercial structures.
So our central topic was the use of commercial hairspray, and its history of the hairspray was connected to the components that changed throughout time, and both of these effects had various impacts on health, such as carcinogens and heart disease. And due to that, there was also a third impact on environment, such as the depletion of the ozone layer, which eventually led back to Trump's claim that the indoor use of hairspray would not affect the environment.
In conclusion, we were able to disprove Donald Trump by showing that hairspray is bad for the ozone layer because of the CFCs and the other harmful chemicals inside of the hairspray.